How about you? Did you get some trains for Christmas? No, not this year. No locomotives, I'm afraid. But I did get something interesting. Hang on a second. I've just got to do this little thing. Hey, Christmas has been and it has now gone. But what did Santa have in his sack this year for me? Well, surprise, surprise. Of course, now that Christmas is done and dusted, I should have shot the video when I got the chance like I did with the crane in the previous year. But in 2023, the decorations have started being dismantled. However, in our master ensuite, the decorations are still up. So that's why we're here at the moment shooting this clip. And it's double trouble, you're getting me in stereo. Let's carry on and see what Holly Jolly Santa did have in that sack for me this year.
Ta-da! And welcome to Joseph's Model Railway and Toy Room, which are over that way. But not to despair, because we're starting our journey all the way on this side today. As always, just a little bit of housekeeping. You don't need to like, subscribe, or follow any of the videos. You're busy enough on YouTube watching everything else and doing all that nonsense. So when you come to my videos, just sit back and relax. You just enjoy them. And I just put the videos out there where I can and have a whole jolly bunch of fun doing so. Now, in today's video, we're going to have to get in a bit closer.
Ah, yes. Here we are, nice and intimate. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who haven't seen an earlier video on another channel, I'd like to introduce someone to you who is very special to me, and that is my now fully restored Pioneer SX 1980 hi-fi amplifier receiver, and I love it. Fantastic. What's not to love about this miracle of engineering, which just makes sound all the more sumptuous when you listen to a piece of music through it. But it's lights out, because we're not talking about any of that today. We're talking to you about a new little friend that your mother has given you permission. Perhaps my mother hasn't given me permission now I think about it. I'll wait till she gives me permission. So unofficially, Joseph is giving you permission, and we're going to talk about this fellow here. Of course, it's primetime viewing because I've got 99 problems, and Optimus Prime is definitely not one of my problems. Now, just really getting off the track slightly, Mattel really got this product line right. The executives were in that limousine coming up with a concept, and it wasn't about anything other than moving more toys, making something that seemed quite desirable, and hence Transformers was born, and a true toy of the 80s. And as a child of the 80s, it's what it's all about. And for me, these reissues that they're doing of the Generation 1 Transformers, I think are absolute bang for the dollars, because you still get all that magnificent packaging, although there's a few challenges that it doesn't come with, but you still get all the joy and magnificence, because for me, half the time, it's all about the packaging. We get the tremendous packaging that's being done, and I'm not really, and this isn't the type of toy that I'm looking to collect and make money out of. I want the toy that I can take out of the box and I can play with. And here he is. Now, of course, the original Optimus Prime obviously comes with his command center or his big trailer on the back. And if we pay a quick visit to our toy room, which is where we're heading, here he is, an original one. And I can assure you, he's not that price anymore. And of course, this one has been open and I like to play with it. And of course, show other people what a magnificent toy this really is. But this is a wonderful one. So we don't have the trailer. We just have Optimus Prime, the truck itself, which is kind of what I wanted, because I actually wanted a model of Optimus Prime that could be transformed and sitting on the shelf in the robot mode, just like we did with our good friend Devastator. Albeit this is a knockoff, but for less than $100, it's one impressive knockoff. So let's go and discover a bit more about it. Now, whether you're a fan of the Transformers, the Autobots, the good guys, or the Decepticons, the bad guys, for me, Decepticons through and through, let's just pay attention to this tremendous and absolutely iconic artwork and font that they have used. Maybe we might see it elsewhere. And why on earth have we started today's video with the hi-fi? Is there more to the story? Let's find out.
So as we make our way up through the hallways to get to Joseph's model railway and toy room, we of course make reference to this tremendous piece of artwork, which of course has featured on the Hi-Fi channel, which was created by me. And basically we start with the cream of the crop, which we have the rock and roll evolution family tree. So starting at the top, even going back to classical music like Sebastian Bach, and making our way down to iconic names like Elvis and the Beatles and Hendrix and things like that. So we're up in the heavens, and we make our way down to all the subgenres of rock, from progressive metal to shock rock to Aussie pioneers, glam metal. Obviously we've got UK and indie, post-grunge, metalcore. We make our way down as it keeps exploring the family tree and down to the fiery depths of hell, from where this magic has made its way to go to the top. Not talking about music or hi-fi, let's just appreciate some magic about the artwork. Did you figure it out? Well, 10 points if you got this far. Because yes, the inspiration that came to get this particular font, the font as seen is of course the AC/DC styled font, which of course we all know and love. And the color scheme was indeed taken from the Transformers, Decepticon and Autobots, and rolled into it. So a little something fascinating we learn every day, and how I apply what I love into everything that I do. And regarding this piece of artwork, which is in one of the most prominent pieces of our home, Happy Wife, Happy Life, took a lot of getting my wife happy to agree to have this here. But this, what I've created here, is a piece of me. And to really understand a person like me, you really need to sit back and absorb what you're seeing here. Albeit hearing it if you get the choice to spin some records with me. Top shelf with our magnificent Decepticons, and of course that collection shall keep growing. So here we are, a humble little collection at the moment, and I do have some originals that are still not in this room at the moment, which were mine, and we'll sort through later. But you know, some key originals here. Remember, this is an original Optimus Prime. Here he is with the trailer we can open up and have a look at. We're going to look at that later in the future. Of course, one of my all-time favorites, which is Grimlock, which I still have my original.
To note, this was also the first Transformer I ever received. I can still smell the plastic the day I opened it.
But I did buy the reissue. It seemed rather important. Of course, others like Red Alert, the Lamborghini, and of course we've got Smokescreen. Really just fantastic things to own, and a Decepticon that got caught in here in the mix. But right here, I've always wanted to have an Autobot, and it had to be Optimus Prime standing here in robot mode, as we can see it in the picture. So that's why we have what we have. All right, well, let's have a quick look. We've got a box. No, I think that's a mighty fine start. And here he is in his resplendent red and blue. Fantastic stuff. And of course, what you obviously get is his weaponry and the additional fists there to put it together. Nice little touch. Now, just quickly, we won't go too much into it, but obviously in the box, I guess the biggest gripe I have with the reissues with all of this is our little red card, which we put over here, which is zoomed in on their strengths, abilities, intelligence, things like that, and was always quite a big deal. But look, of course, we're made in Vietnam at the moment. It's got all the digital barcodes and things that certainly weren't the major must-haves of the day. And let's have a quick look here. The sticker sheet, I have applied the stickers. Being a little slightly older now, my skills are slightly improved. Still not perfect, but I'm very happy with when I was young. My father was always to the rescue, applying things like that. And I've learned a few techniques, but we've got where it needs to go. And of course, we have the instructions on how to go from truck to robot. It's a fantastic recreation. Of course, you've got the plastic and some bits of metal and what have you, but realistically, for the price of what these are, and we're talking anywhere between $30 to $50, depending, which isn't really far off where they were originally priced. Certainly my original Optimus Prime with the trailer was, of course, as you can see on that sticker, just under $30. But why don't we just quickly transform this magnificent robot and get to the story. One interesting thing I never actually paid attention to, what is just really good design, is that unlike GoBots, and we'll talk about that later with the truck that they had, is when the legs are coming down, if you do look quite closely, for each notch they keep separating. And I think that really is a nice touch that they made that movement in there to get them. It's what is going to make this look like the real deal. So let us just quickly transform, and let's just get that head where it needs to be. No one's riding inside today. We'll just go straight on. And here we go. I mean, it would be wrong to come all this way and not attach our fists onto here. Always feel the design of those guns wasn't really quite that good, considering you can't quite sit it in the exact spot because the handle of the gun gets in the way. We're not losing any, whoops. We certainly won't lose any sleep over that. Now let's just come in a bit closer. And here he is, an absolutely stunning piece. I think anyone would be happy to have. Of course, we can indeed bend the legs back as necessary to get the stance you may very well be choosing to go for. It's worth noting as well, there's another one available for $50, slightly bigger than this, same type of packaging, but it is a static truck model only. It will not transform into a robot. But so if you're looking to have this one on display as a robot and would like to have a side-by-side with it in the truck formation, I must admit this additional model as seen here is a very wise investment if you're the person that's into this sort of stuff. Let us now just disconnect those fists for a moment. Pop them to the side. We're just going to flip that head down and pop these back into position. We're going to transform him back into that truck mode, and anyone that certainly saw the show or the movies in the 80s knows I'm missing one important step we better do. Or something to that effect. We all had our own noises we'd make to get them to transform, but we could never quite make it happen in real life quite as fast as they did in the show. It's tremendous animation, it goes without saying. I'll take a moment here just to make mention that certainly in the 80s Transformers movie, I hate to ruin it for everyone, but Optimus Prime does make the ultimate sacrifice and does die. And I certainly won't lie to you, it certainly brought a tear to my eye when I was young seeing that moment. But it's the reality of life. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's the toy that certainly doesn't need to be a collectible per se, something you can just grab your hands, play with, and you will have a fantastic time with it. Ta-da! Hey, I hope I'm in shot. I'm not really all that tall. Still, I think he looks pretty good there. So girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me during prime time viewing that we have had here on the YouTube channel. Of course, we're going to be going back down to the model railway in the next video, but I do hope you've enjoyed this. As always, it's not always going to be about the model railway. We've got toys as well, and I like to enjoy it all. It's always absolutely wonderful getting a moment to be in this room. I must admit, since we saw the Christmas video with the trains running around, it's been a month since that happened, and I haven't even been in this room. Unfortunately, I'm overwhelmed with work at the moment, and I can't get as much time as I like to in here, plus trying to shoot videos. I really do try and do my best, so please bear with me. I understand every week it may not be something that's ticking all your boxes, but hang in there. We've got a lot to get through, and we're going to have a whole bunch of fun doing so, as we always do. So as always, please do stay safe, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Toodles!